but I like this better. He says, each thing I write is an appeal and protest to God. I'm after the emotional truth of what it feels like to be alive in life's melodrama. And in this pursuit, I use biographical truth, fantasy, humor, blasphemy, lies. In my writing, I seek what's difficult to reach in my daily practical life, a courageous, optimistic relationship with the universe. In performance, I seek to replicate the original emotion behind each performed poem, and boy does he ever. I treat both writing and performance with the utmost seriousness of a starving human being in a pit whose only audience is God. I give you Mike G.
Wow, I wrote that? Making myself cry. Guess that's what it's all about. That's what the calling is. It's such a huge calling, isn't it? Those of us who get such a kick out of this. Thanks, friends, for coming. Life is hard, but I'm tenacious. Grateful to be here. Sharing with you tonight is the highlight of my summer. Thanks. I think the first thing I want to say is there's no essential difference between the vagina and the penis, just human souls with genitals trying to be real. We expect our best poets to be quite beyond the gender war, don't we? I mean, isn't that tiring that the gender war still exists? The fact that first-rate intellectuals and artists would participate in a gender role war disgusts me. So let's have that be over with. We expect better than that. Next thing I want to say is thank God for my friendship with Dennis. We were hanging out today earlier, recounting the times. I've known him for about 6 years now. And to actually meet a man and a writer of his magnitude who validated my work at an early phase made all the difference. Thank you, Dennis. As older writers, it's our responsibility to encourage those who are younger coming along with talent, not lie to them, but validate them when it's needed. Dennis saved my life. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. While at Dennis's, he has all these papers laying around. If you've never been to his house, it's this magic poet house. He has all these books and VHS tapes, 5,000 of them stacked against every wall, and articles he's copied. And there's this quote by Doris Lessing, a great writer, that I want to quote because I believe it so much. There is no one on this earth who is not twisted by fear and insecurity and the compromises of thinking made inevitable by want and fear. We are all the victims of a temporary phase of economic development. Our imaginations are in bond to our necessities, and even slaves suddenly set free are marked by the habits of submission, and slaves imagining freedom see it through the eyes of slaves. The imagination of the world must reject hunger and poverty. To imagine free man, leisured man, is to step outside what we are. I am convinced that we all stand at an open door, that there is a man about to be born who has never been twisted by drudgery, who will not have to shoulder work and responsibilities he detests, which bore him. There are only two choices: that we force ourselves into the effort of imagination necessary to become what we are capable of becoming, or that we submit to being ruled by the office boys of big business, or the socialist bureaucrats who have forgotten that socialism means goodness and compassion. The writer who can be eased into silence by fear or economic pressure is not worth considering. What is dangerous is the inner loyalty to something felt as much greater than oneself. It is the inner censor that is the enemy. I was dissatisfied with nearly all contemporary novels. Reading for my own needs, I would go back to War and Peace, not because I was looking for a reaffirmation of old ethical values, many of which I don't accept, or the pleasure of familiarity, but because I was looking for the warmth, the compassion, the humanity, the love of people which illuminates the literature of the 19th century. I believe that the pleasurable luxury of despair, the tired pity of Camus, Sartre, Beckett, Genet, or the acceptance of disgust is as much a betrayal of what a writer should be as the acceptance of the simple economic view of man. Both are aspects of cowardice. Both falling away from a central vision. One sees man as the isolated individual unable to communicate, helpless and solitary, and the other as collective man with a collective conscience. Somewhere between these two is a resting point, a place of decision, hard to reach and precariously balanced, but it is a balance that must be continuously tested and reaffirmed. Doris Lessing. So reassuring to read other people who validate your philosophy, however unpopular. It's like, we do have a friend on the island of misfit toys. Sometimes I look at my writing and see lines, and I have no idea what I meant by them at the time, and the task then becomes reading them as if it means something, just like living life as if it means something. The next few poems are kind of like that. They're a little old. The poetry of scarecrows. In the hours beneath the dusk, with wine spilt on sheets and cigarette burns and drool on pillows, live love, and lines composed for God. The dream things and celestial knickknacks, the eyeballs lost in suburban backyards, crystals for telling tornadoes and dead things, and mom calls and connects with the sun. When she speaks of the end, I get calm. Mountains ready to leap from their gowns. This ghost-silvered century madness howls, and all that prowls also cries for home. We the blind await, the dream things come. It's a wild goose chase to find myself. Thus the advantage of two brains. Popeye's got a hankering for tigers now. Spinach leaves him starving for the poetry of scarecrows. Stark, real thing, the language of wind and the geese who converse with wind away from the city's glint and fist. Boyhood werebears splashing in the moon bath, sliding down that lubed hypotenuse to confusement. Fathers in the closet rooting around for the right tool. It's a sunny day in Michigan, Mom says. That's nice, Mom. I'll dream of Precambrian red lights and the goodness of trilobite kisses. There are 0 eyes in this poem, so don't expect me or anything else to see. There's no resurrection for that ranting guy. No more eye. Just leaves blowing and dandelions middle fingering the neighbor's lawn fetishes. The baby squirrel with the purple cast begged me to change, said my eyes and mouth had said and seen enough. How could I not listen to that tiny, pitiful thing? So I jettisoned that annoying eye with ranting voice. Maybe he rants in the Andromeda Galaxy now. Newness knows Jesus' peace beyond understanding now. Newness kisses the skeleton in bed where the hair was. Newness is also lonely. Newness moves the stars for no one. The wind is at the door. Mom says she likes the way I write now. That's nice, Mom. What a horrible place this is. It's not fair. I've risen because something bad is happening to the animals. That's all. I've traded my voice for wings. Unlike Wicked's monkeys, I wanted to, sliding down that lubed hypotenuse to happiness. The inspiration extinguisher's been paid off, so she's finally left Confusement's amusement park. Crazyland has no sun, just an apricot moon to tongue. The oracle reclines on a throne of bones, says I can cancel that trip to the suffering time zone where the testament of tears is secretly buried. Nothing new here, she says, just pain. If Earth existed, it seems it would be like this. And all that fighting we did was earthbound. We got the werebears and the moon bath here. We got the radical fairies playing Ring Around the Rosie around planets with silly names. Boredom was earthbound. A shredded balloon flaps where the open mic God once ranted. It was a big balloon,
fun to tongue and slap around at parties. The baby squirrel with the purple cast popped it, and my heart and face have changed, so I need a new name. Some blasphemous jackass thing unplugged the stars from Idaho. It's absolutely true. Just ask my dead grandparents. I've never trusted the month of my birth to be free from the Matrix, so I say May is machine made. Where's my crazy vagina cake? Wow. Where's my crazy vagina cake? Wash your soul before seeing me. Get all pretty for Big Brother. I'm vibrating again. The eruption's coming. Zombies chalking the sidewalk with depictions of the prettiest star. Take a seat for this liquid last supper. Let's sing as we skeleton forth. Ladies, ovaries should lie fallow sometimes to keep the field fresh. That thing squawking at your breast is a lizard, not a baby. I don't want to see your lizard pictures, and I'm just a fiction to draw you in. What a world! What a world! She was melting, screaming emoticons. Church ladies are licking crayons, and you must be God. You made me an animal. Serendipitous liquids ease the anxiety place in which we've been lusting for a cold queen and grinding against nothing our entire lives. A legless spider said our minds needed editing, said we'd return as therapy rats or rodeo clowns, insisted we attend her radical sanity conference. Ancient, rotund, possessing a whole of her own, she'd given last rites to soon-to-be euthanized Clydesdales and the most numinous humans. Stop fetishizing my acronym, she said. I never intended ATM to mean ass to mouth, or Viagra sponsoring of preteen dance teams. Ganesh is Satan's elephant, I said. The 10-year-old girl in my head is my bestie, and I edit my glorious flaws for no one but me. Pissed, impotent, she exploded like jelly donuts. We licked face, left that anxiety place enthused, each to our own rooms and the enchanted muse. For Chris Luna, bewilderness of gratitude. Wandering around in the bewilderness of gratitude, and whether I die in 50 years or 1 hour, no celestial or terrestrial power can erase this centered state of bliss. I am imprinted upon cosmos. You're blaspheming against the established paradigm of fear again, the 10-year-old neighbor girl said. Sweet it is, declared the bewilderness poet. Is bewilderness even a word? She said. It is now, he said. I write, and the language evolves. She said. We expect our best poets to blaspheme against the paradigm of fear and seek the God fuck with gratitude. Mom, she said. Listen, I whispered. The God fuck is simply the ecstatic communion that the poet and audience experience during performance transport. The experience is characterized by radical empathy and shared rapture. Never mind, Mom, she said. I love you, I said. It's all about trying to find one human being who fucking gets it. Aroused by the illusion, committed to the arousal, the end-time wise ones dance. Suffering seared into scripture, finished. Banished bad behavior, universe, redeemed. Crosses we crawled through shit with, gone. Everything alive with wild Rembrandt eyes. The last testament will be light. Fruit trees from carcass of lion and lamb, from ashes and song arises a lush autumn. A cherished email that you snapped out of it, sharp as youth, moon crescents, our happiness. Robots' graveyards last harvest, a child lays a rose upon the rust. The end-time wise ones dance, the last testaments will be light. Just the other day I took a walk trying to quit smoking, which isn't easy. Smoked a bit with Dennis today, but I'm doing real good. It makes quitting drinking, at least for me, seem like nothing. But drinking is hard for others. Just trying to do something about the fucking paucity of August. Oh, I have CDs for $5 if you want from something I did with my band, Mike G and the 3D, back in 2009. If you're interested in all, it's kind of zany. Wayne was there, he can tell you. I have those if anyone's interested. Next street over. The universe looks different the next street over. They've got chickens with courage and flowers for lawns. Here, no one's forced by the economy to eat mechanically separated meat. Here, no one's treated like mechanically separated meat. Detached from machines, the humans are doing things. Here, they've hacked into the real. Here, no one's yelling at each other. Everyone seems significantly alive. They're living in what appears to be conscious astonishment. The sunlight's not so hard here, and even the squirrels act mentally well. Nothing I know of normal daily gloominess fits this picture. Here, I feel like a kid swinging in summer, kicking feet against the warm, wide open blue, not hungry for anything. It's all right here. I need to believe in this street. If such a street didn't exist, I'd have to invent it. I invented it. Great Tribulation. Merry-go-muse floating in the zeitgeist in childhood's glossolalia ecstasy. In uncanny interludes between blooms, always a pallbearer, never a corpse, unmarked helicopters singing within, spinning addiction to fish blood on hook. So you're the property of Jesus now, finger-painting ghosts with hand grenades, and the counsel you keep is silence. Let's meet by the dolphin and the cross, rip out the system's rotten teeth, put on the green wig and kiss me. See those stars in my head? Make a wish. Win the brain's great tribulation, live, spread wings over New Jerusalem. She's just this thing that happens to be alive, pogo-sticking the dark ledges of the mind, believing evolution selects against imagination, or sitting as bees trampoline the dandelions. She frames it all so she doesn't cry to death. They call her Lord because she's brave. In her day, intellectual slavery means safety. Drinking brandy keeps mind parasites at bay, seen with damaged minimum wage eyes, given to gallows philosophy, cave paintings, indefatigable joy amid suffering's thickness, Rembrandting the night with maps, candles, venturing out for Wednesday's public praise, skirting damnation's cold margins, triumphant. She begets illuminated testaments with her breath. Atlas and Ayn Rand softly speak in irregular trimeter while watching the weak from their prison window. The world spins round again in perfect selfishness amid standard routines. Blowjobs, torture, boredom. Kids cracked open by fear. Imaginations caged. Dirt whipped against caskets. Madness igniting eyes. Suicides in quiet savage economy, souls evicted from grace, shadows shuffling downcast in the moon's cruel hymn, commanding us to shrug. And Obad, I didn't know, was kind of like a serenade, except an Obad is some mourning song of love and hurry up and get out of here before they catch us. The spiders have fled for the daffodils next advent. You are singing backwards about matters behind us. I am singing forwards about matters before us. This spring's a cold thing with memories of flame. We sit with cold hands watching the caskets pass. Younger me, younger you, dreams painted pretty. We've been each other's skin, so there's no leaving. The squirrels playfully shrug at our absence of nuts. The crows, away to congregation, leave us peace. May evening and morning shadows attach at last, and death come with eyes glowing, glowing in song, and spiders return, daffodils flee, and we be love. Got one more thing. I always make such a mess of my stuff. Life is messy. At my house, we have two domesticated rats. They're therapy rats because, I mean, there's mentally ill people there. And rats, if you don't know, are like very small, smart, loyal, curious dogs. Domesticated rats are not like wild rats. If you're thinking of sewer rats, you just don't know. I find it funny that I used to not understand the love for animals. I had a crazy aunt I loved, and I'd help her do things and hang out with her, and she'd spend too much time with the dog when I wanted her spending time with me, and I'd say, that dog has no brain. Can't believe I once said that, but I did. I can't believe that dog has no brain. Well, you're never too old to change. Conversation with Ashley the rat. Do you suppose we'll survive the paucity of August? Ashley sniffs at the air. Blinks. Is my optimism just so much me blowing so much smoke up so much ass? Ashley licks my finger. Blinks. I've probably enjoyed my last girlfriend, haven't I? Ashley twitches her tail. Does not blink. Do you suppose I'll survive the anguish of that? Ashley blinks. Or the anguish of all accumulated loss? Ashley yawns. Am I anthropomorphizing you because I'm horribly heartsick, lonely, for communion with a creature who matches my consciousness and understands me at an empathetic, telepathic level? Ashley ambles to her hammock, faces window, shows ass and tail to me. It's a fucked up life of greatness, isn't it? Ashley's ass and tail twitch in time. Maybe I should do what Dennis says and just repeat the word vast over and over like a mantra and be filled with peace, because everything good and bad, fleeting and eternal is vast, isn't it, Ashley? Ashley's ass and tail twitch in time. At least I've stopped dry humping my passed out girlfriends. That's a good thing, isn't it? Ashley darts to her food bowl, snatches a pellet of rat chow, darts to the corner of the cage, and crunch, crunch, crunches where her shit is. Suffering is simply the method through which the universe improves the character of a self-conscious being, isn't it? Crunch, 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 says Ashley. Vast, I say. Everything is vast. Crunch, 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 says Ashley. My ego is vast. My non-ego is vast. Crunch, 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 says Ashley. Vast, 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 I say. I unlatch the door of Ashley's cage. She runs into the cup of my little poet hands. Is it courageous like people say, or merely self-indulgent that I write and perform as I do? Ashley sniffs around in my hands, licks a little. Am I so attached to my idea of being great? Will I break if I lose it? I raise Ashley to face my tears. Ashley licks at my tears. Are you licking my tears out of radical empathy, or are you just addicted to salt? Ashley licks the tears. Seems like simultaneously everything matters and nothing matters, I say. It's all just a mind fuck, isn't it? A warm, moist pellet drops from Ashley's ass into the cup of my hands. I set Ashley back into her cage, latching the door. Vast, vast, vast. Guess we ain't spring chickens no more, kiddo. Ashley enters her wheel, starts running in it. Guess we have each other, don't we? Ashley runs in her wheel. Guess we all run in our own wheels, don't we? Ashley runs in her wheel. Guess we'll just keep on doing our best. Ashley runs in her wheel. And not kill ourselves or otherwise give up. Ashley runs in her wheel. And we'll stay fiercely optimistic about our lives despite the overwhelming rejections and ignorant misunderstandings of our critics and general pointlessness of it all, won't we? Ashley runs in her wheel. The meaning of our lives is what we say it is, isn't it? Ashley runs in her wheel. It's okay if someday we get published and paid, I say. It's okay if we die from exposure like Poe in the gutter, I say. Ashley runs in her wheel. It's okay. It's okay. It's vast, like death and sex in spring. It's vast. Ashley stops running, eases into her hammock, sleeps. Thanks, guys.